How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Pei Aleph, Daf 81 of Masechta Sanhedrin. Friends, your friends. Well, there's like 3 Mishnayos that I want to do today. The thing is, it's like 25 minutes till Shabbos, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just do the first half today, and maybe I'll just have to finish up later, like tomorrow or something. Tomorrow night, I guess. Okay. Well, all right. Let's start. It says the Mishnah on Daf Pei Aleph Amud Aleph, about 5 lines into the page. Mishnah Chayv b'shtei misos bezdin nidon b'chamura. So you have somebody who's chayev 2 misos bezdins. So let's say it was like Mechal Shabbos, so he's chayev skila, and then he sleeps with his mother-in-law, I guess, and he's chayev sreifa. Oh no, skila, mother-in-law. Okay, how about just a married woman, just a stam? Okay, this is chayev chenek. Okay, so he's chayev 2 misas. So bezdin, misas bezdin. So neither machamura. So he is. So we give him the more stringent one. Of avera is chayev shtei misos. If he's over an avera that he would be chayev shtei misas for. So Rashi gives an example. Kigon chamoso v'hi eishes ish. For example, if he sleeps with his mother-in-law, who is also married, so she's eishes ish, which is chenek, and chamoso, which is sreifa. So chenek and sreifa. So nido machamura. So he is going to be chayev for. So he's going to get the more stringent one, which would be sreifa. Rabbi Yossi says, Rabbi Yossi nidon bezika arishona shaba olav. He is judged by the first one that came to him. We're going to get to this at the end of the Amud about what exactly this means. Okay. Yeah. Let's get to it at the end of the daf. How about that? Okay. So, all right. Here we go. Says the Mishnah Pshita. Well, it says the Gemara. Says the Gemara Pshita. It's obvious. Meaning, okay, if a guy was Mechal Shabbos and he's chayev skila for being Mechal Shabbos. So obviously, if he then goes and has beer with an eishes ish, and so he did now another avera that he's chayev misa for, and he's now getting a more lenient punishment. When he was only Mechal Shabbos, he was chayev skila, and now in addition to being Mechal Shabbos, he has beer with an eishes ish. So he did another avera, and yet he's chayev chenek now instead of skila, a more lenient misa. I mean, that doesn't make sense. So elizgure isgur. I don't understand. What, are we rewarding him because he now went and slept with an eishes ish? So Rav says, my skin here. What are you talking about? Kala. No, what happened was we're talking about a scenario where he already had beer with an eishes ish, so he was already chayev chenek, and he already went to court, and he was already chayev, and they were about to slice off his head, and then he slips away. And Mamish, they were about to slice his head off, and Mamish said, "Hey, look over there," and he ran away, and he was Mechal Shabbos. Because of Aver Avera Chamura, and then he was Mechal Shabbos. Al Kadaite Chamina, I may have thought came into Nigmar Dinu Lavera Kala, Hagavik Tilu. I may have thought, well, since they already were about to slice off his head, so we just continue with that one. So Kamaj Milan that no, now that he was Mechal Shabbos, so then skila instead of chenek. Ba'amine, so it says avua in parentheses, but there's different gears that says achua. What do you want me to say? Avua, achua. What should we do? Ba'amine achua de Rav Yosef bar Choma me Rabba bar Nosen. Oh, so achua de Rav Yosef bar Choma asked Rabba bar Nosen. Minoa milsa de Omer Rabbanon. From where do we have this thing that the rabbis said? Again, okay, where's this thing that the rabbi said? Somebody who's chayev 2 misos bezdins, nidon b'chamura, he is judged by the more stringent one. As the pasuk says, v'holid ben paritz shofech dam v'gomer elaharim ochal v'leishes re'eu timei v'leishes re'eu timei v'lagilulim nosa einav. Okay, that's the pasuk. V'holid ben paritz shofech dam. Okay, and ben paritz gave birth a blood spiller, So shofech dam is murder. That's b'sayif. As eishes re'eu timei, so eishes ish b'chenek. Okay, so we have sayif, then we have chenek. Okay. And he did avodah zarah b'skila. So we have saif, we have chenek, we have skila. Wow, this is a real piece of work, this guy. Uchsiv mos yumas damav bo yiyeh b'skila. And the pasuk says, what is this? Probably the next pasuk. The next pasuk says, mos yumas damav bo. That dam of bo, the main bum, of course we know, means skila. So even though he was chayev, chenek, sayif, skila, he what he gets is skila, the most stringent one. Maskeflar of Nachman bar Yitzchak, Nachman bar Yitzchak says, but wait, Ema also suggests kulu b'skila, that all three scenarios are talking about skila. It's not chenek, sayif, and skila. It's skila, skila, and skila. V'holid ben paritz shofech dam ze ben soramor, that the shofech dam is a reference to ben soramor, because we said, right, the whole thing is that he's gonna be molasted misabrios and kill people, I guess. Eishes re'eu timei zo nar marosa. We said it's talking about nar marosa, which is also beskila, right? Ben soramor is beskila, nar marosa is beskila. V'elaglil nasa einav zo avodas kochavim de beskila, and elaglil nasa einav is avodas, which is also beskila. So maybe we're talking about all three scenarios which are skila. Okay, my kamashmal and Yechezkel. But if that's the case, then what's the chiddush of it? What's Yechezkel teaching us that we didn't already know? Well, I don't know. Maybe he was just giving chazar, doing review on the halachis of the Torah. Because if so, then he should do it like Moshe Rabbeinu did. I don't know exactly what that means, that he should do it like Moshe Rabbeinu did, but I don't know. Alright. Misudar, go over everything maybe. Alright. Darsh Ravacha Reb Chanina. Ravacha Reb Chanina Darshan. Ma'atich say, what does the pasuk mean? Elaharim lo achal. Okay, if you have a pasuk that refers to a person, Elaharim lo achal shlo achal b'schus avosav. Okay, he didn't rely upon his father's merits. He was a self-made person. Ve'enav lo nasa al gilule beis Yisrael. So halach becomes kufa. He wasn't haughty. He didn't walk with, all hoity-toity. Ve'ez eishes ve'eu lo timei shelo yared lo umnus chaveru. He didn't, I guess, step on his friend's toes in business, I guess. Like he didn't go into his friend's business. He had his own business. Okay, he didn't, meaning if his friend has a certain geschäft, he didn't open the same geschäft. Ve'el isha nida lo yikrov shlo nen amikupa shel tzedakah. He never had to rely on the kupa shel tzedakah. Uchsiv tzadiku chayu yichin. It says about this person that he is a righteous person, he shall surely live. Rabbi Gamliel magil mikra, that when Rabbi Gamliel would reach this pasuk, Hayibochi would cry v'amar, and he says, "Man da'av l'chulu hu dechai b'chadam nayu lo." And specifically, somebody who does all of these things that we just listed, right? That shalach b'schus avosav, shalach b'komas kufa, so yard lo mischavero. Somebody who all of these are, does all these things, so then chayu yichya, he will surely live. But just doing one of those things is not enough. Rabbi Kiva says to Gamliel, that when the pasuk says, don't do all of these negative things that the nations, the previous nations, the previous inhabitants of Eretz Yisrael did, so don't do all of these things. What do you think? It's saying don't do all of them, but you could do one of them. You could do them individually. Of course not. It's talking about don't even do one of those naughty things. Here, we're talking about one of those things. Even if you do one of these things that we listed, again, don't take them from tzedakah, don't rely on chusavos, things like that. So even if you just do one of those things, chayu yichya, you shall surely live. So now, Tanya Ketzer Amr Reb Yossi Nidon Bezik Rishon Abba Olav. So what's Reb Yossi talking about that he's going to be chayiv in the first zikr, right? We said that somebody who's chayiv, what was it say? We said Over Averishin is chayiv shtei misos Nidon Bachamura. So for example, what if you sleep with your mother-in-law who's also an Eishes Ish? So there's Eishes Ish, which is Bechenek. There's also Chamosa, which is Besreifa. So Rabbi Yossi says, well, it depends. It depends. If when you got married, your mother-in-law was not married, so when you married your wife, your mother-in-law was single. So prior to marrying your wife, your mother-in-law was permitted to you could have married your mother-in-law instead of your wife, your future mother-in-law instead of your wife. Also, anybody could have really married her, right? Now you got married. Now your mother-in-law is also to you because it's your mother-in-law. If she then gets married, well then, in addition to being your mother-in-law, she's now also Eishes Ish. She's now also Eishes Ish. But initially, she was Muteris to you. Before you married her daughter, she was Muteris to you. The first time she became also to you was when you married her daughter, she was also for him Chamoso. And then added on to that became Eishes Ish when she then got married later on. Probably remarried. I imagine she was either divorced or widowed. Now, alternatively, you could have had a scenario where your future mother-in-law is married, in which case she's already asura to you because of Eishes Ish. You then marry her daughter, and she now becomes asura to you also for Chamosa. So, Kilu, is it that it was first Chamosa and then Eishes Ish, or was it already Eishes Ish and then you added on Chamosa? You hear? So Tani Ketz, so Rabbi Yossi, Nido B'zik Rishon Abba Olav. What's Rabbi Yossi saying when he's saying that he's chayiv for the first thing that was also to him? So Chamoso v'naisis Eishes Ish. Well, if when you married your wife, your mother-in-law was single, so therefore she was initially permitted to you, but she became also to you because she's your mother-in-law. But then she got remarried, and now she's additionally also because of Eishes Ish. But Chamoso was first. So Nido Ma Chamoso. So you judge for Chamoso, which was first. Eishes Ish v'naisa Chamoso, if she was already married, in which case she was already asura to you even before you married her daughter because of Eishes Ish, and now you marry her daughter, now she's additionally asura because of Chamoso. So Nidon be'Eishes Ish, so then you're going to be chayiv for Eishes Ish, which is Chenek, because that was prior. Omelei Rav Ada bar Ahava l'Rava, Rav Ada bar Ahava says to Rava, Chamoso v'naisis Eishes Ish Nidon beChamoso. 1 second, we said that if she was single when you married if your mother-in-law was single when you married your wife. So Rabbi Yossi is saying that, okay, so you chayiv sreifa, which is the punishment for chamosa. But 1 second. But lido nami ha'isur eishes ish, you should also be chayiv for eishes ish. De ha amar Rab Abo mod Rabbi Yossi b'eser mosif. Oh, it's a gemara from Yevomis. That Rabbi Yossi admits when it's isur mosif. Who can tell me what isur mosif is? Well, if his mother-in-law was single when he married his wife, so then, okay, so initially he was muteris to his mother-in-law, right? So long as he wasn't married yet to his wife, so he could have married his mother-in-law instead if he wanted. So she was muteris to him. Now he married his wife, so his mother-in-law now becomes asura to him. Anybody else in the world could marry her. Just he can't because it's now his mother-in-law. She then becomes an Eishes Ish. She gets remarried. Well, now that added to the Isser, because now it's not just right. It's not just that she's also to him. She's also to everybody in the world. So therefore, I would think that Eishes Ish should also be chayiv for Eishes Ish because the Eishes Ish kind of adds the Isser. It's no longer she's not just a surah to him. She's also to everybody other than her husband. Betray katle kotodle. So Rava says, no, Ada, my son, I don't understand. You can only be chayiv misa once. I get it. That meaning. So where Rav Yossi says that isur mosif. So for example, if it was by accident, okay. So then beseder if it was chamoso and then eishes ish. So then if it was by accident, you would bring 2 korban chatases. But if we're talking about misa, I mean, you can only kill the guy once, unfortunately. I guess it could be quite fun to do it twice, but azoy. Al Koponim, it's probably not that nice or anything. Anyways, so therefore, and Rabbi Yossi says that it's the first zika that you get punished for. Okay, where are we at? 15. Shabbos must be starting now. What's it? 45. I could probably go weiter. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's go weiter. Yeah, I think I started about 4:30. Shabbos at 5. I think I had about 25 minutes. Can I do 10 minutes? No, you know what? No, I'm going to do this later. Alright, I'll see you guys soon. Alright, I'm back. Mishalaka v'shana bezdin machnisun oiser lakipo machilin oiser sorin ad shekresim is bakas gevaldik. Says the Mishnah that Mishalaka v'shana, if somebody got makis twice, he did something that he's not supposed to do, we give him makis. He did it nochamo, makis. So now bezdin machnisun also lakipo. So now bezdin brings him into the kippah. We talked about the kippah yesterday, right? I think that right? I think we talked about it maybe the day before. I think yesterday we talked about the kippah. No, did we not? I don't know. I can't remember. And so the kippah, we're going to learn more about it today. But yeah, you don't want to go to the kippah. It's batsim, they kill you. It's like a loophole. It's like there's the 4 misas bezdin, but if we can't do the misas bezdin, then we just put you into the kippah. And basically, where do we talk about? I don't remember where we talk about what qualifies for the kippah. Maybe we're going to talk about it today. Yeah, we're going to talk about it today. Anyways, so it's like this little room that they put you in, and they feed you wheat and barley until your stomach splits open. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about that today. So if you do something, you get makas twice. So Bezdin basically puts you in the kippah. Umachilin also sorin, and in the kippah they feed him barley achikresumis bakas until his stomach splits open, and sounds unpleasant. Says the Gemara, mishum delaka v'shana Bezdin kontinos lechipa. So the Gemara, 1 second, I don't understand, because a person sins twice, we put him in the kippah and we kill him. I don't know, eating chazer, right? Chazer, if you eat chazer, I think it's a lav be'etzim to eat pork. So if you eat pork, so we give you makis. You eat pork nachama, we give you makis. That's not a capital offense. So why are we putting him in the kippah? I don't understand. Amr Birmiyah says, Amr Shimon ben Lakish, hacha b'malkias shel kresis oskinon. So here we're talking about malkias shel kresis. So for example, if a person's mechal Shabbos, does Rashi say something? Where's Rashi? Shel kresis lav sheish b'karis v'hisu ba l'malkis. You hear that? So Rashi says lav sheish b'karis v'hisu ba l'malkis. Chever, I was chazering this on my way to Pidgin Aben. I had to go to Pidgin Aben the other day, and it was tricky because I also had to do chazar for Babylon Talmud, and so and I couldn't, I wasn't able to bring my Gemara. It's a little tricky now with bringing my Gemara places. But I on the way I was walking there by myself, so I had the Safari app, and I was just reading from that the whole way. Thank God I didn't get hit by a car or anything like that. But I was reviewing this on the way, so I didn't have my Gemara open. I had my Safari app. Why am I saying this? It has something to do with the layout being unfamiliar. But anyways, lav sheish b'kar is visible in makas. So lav that has karis, and they warn them from makas. Meaning, so for example, if he's mechal Shabbos is if you do it, if you're mechal Shabbos, so you chayv karis. Now, if somebody sees you being mechal Shabbos, so then they could warn you, hey, you know that if you're mechal Shabbos, you chayv skila. And then if he says, yeah, I know, whatever, you be chayv skila. But what if they didn't say you can be chayv skila? What if they said, hey, if you're mechal Shabbos, you chayv makis? So we're not going to stone him, but we'll give him makis. So if he does a lav that has a chiyuv karis, and he does it once, and they want him for makis, and we give him makis. And nochamo, they want him for makis, we give him makis. If he does it nochamo, so then we're going to put him in the kippah. We can't give him skila, because he wasn't warned about skila, but he's already done this iser that is a chiyuv karis. He's done twice. We already gave makis for it twice. Now already we say forget about it. We're just going to put you in the kippah, drinking coffee. Shkoich. Okay, so mishum delaka v'shana fact the Gemara. I'm reading that again. Bezdin kotzon also the kippah. What? Just because he did an avera twice, and we gave him makis, now also we're going to put him in the kippah. Amr Birmiyah, Amr Shimon ben Lakish, hacha b'malkis shel kreisos askinon. Here we're talking about we gave him we're talking about an avera that is a chiyuv karis, and they warned him, hey, if you do this, you can be chayiv makis. So then we give him makis, and if he did it twice, so now he does it again. The gava bar k'tolahu And ukruvehu deloy mikariv ktale. So look, we're talking about a person who's already chayiv kares, right? Let's say we're talking about Chilul Shabbos. Let's say he was already mechal Shabbos, right? Chilul Shabbos is a chayiv kares, so he's already chayiv kares. So okay, there's already chayiv, a certain type of misa. It's not misa's bezdin, but it's from Hashem. So he's basically on borrowed time at this point. And v'chevin dekom mevater lo nafshe mikavinon le liktole lavi. And now he's basically showing complete disregard for his life. He continues being Mechal Shabbos, let's say. He continues doing this Avera that has a Chiyuv Kares. So we say, okay, forget it. If you don't care about your life, fine, we'll put you in the Kippah. Omle Reb Yaakov le Reb Yirmiyah bar Tachlifa to Asber Lecha. Come and I'll explain to you. The Malki shall Kares Achas. So we're talking about if he does the same Avera over and over. So if it keeps on being Mechal Shabbos, if Mechal Shabbos once we give Makis, Nochamo we give Makis, because that's what they warned him for. Aval Shtayim v'shal Sholish Kreses Isuru Dekatoim V'lemevater Kulei. But if, let's say, he was Mechal Shabbos, we say, hey, for Mechal Shabbos you chayiv kares, and he does it, and we give him kares. We warn him, hey, for Mechal Shabbos you can be chayiv Makis, and he does it, we give him Makis. And then let's say he eats chaylev. And he says, hey, if you eat chaylev, you're going to be chayiv makis. Although chaylev isn't, well, I guess it's a chayiv kares, but it's not like, is somebody here? I hope not. But it's not like, right, but there's no I don't think there's like misas bezdin for eating chaylev. Does it matter if there's like any kind of misas? Because if it's a lav, well, yeah, it's a lav sheish bo chayiv kares, I guess. But what does Rashi say? Lav sheish bo kares v'isur bo l'malchus. They warned that he would get makis. I guess chaylev, there's no misas bezdin, but there is a chayiv kares, and I guess technically it's a lav, right? I assume it's a lav, and then so you be chayiv makis, I guess. Or I don't know what else is something that's like I don't know. What about like murder? What happens if you murder somebody and they warn you? No, that's crazy. No, I don't think that would be the case. I think that might actually be one of the examples that we have later. Anyways, I don't know. What's another example of something that would like, I don't know, I don't know. Maybe if you're like a Magadif. What if you like curse God and they say, hey, if you curse God, you're going to get a Marcus or something. I don't know. Maybe Mikalov V'imo, maybe. Maybe. Because I think Maka of Vimo, I think is Bechenek, right? Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about. Yeah, I think we get up to in Elu and Echnoken. Okay, what is it? Maka of Vimo is Chenek. Alright, so let's say he curses his parents, maybe, let's say. And they warn him about Makas. So if he does like different Averis, so then if he does different Averis, so then we're not going to put him in the keeper because he's just like putting out feelers. He's testing the waters. He's trying this Avera, that Avera. So if he keeps on doing the same Avera over and over, we keep on giving Makas and keeps on doing this Chiyuv Kares, so then we say, okay, forget about it. We're just putting him in the keeper. But if he's trying out different Averas, maybe he's just, testing things out, seeing what different things I like, trying new experiences. And we'll give him Makas, but we're not going to put him in the keeper. Right, so Isuru Katoim, he's just tasting different Isurim. Okay, okay, so now the Mishnah had said somebody who we give Makis to once, then he does it Nachamos, we give him Makis Nachamo, and then we say we put him in the Kippah. So says the Gemara, Shana Afagav de lo Shilesh. So we say that once he got Makis twice, we put him in the Kippah. Once he received Makis twice, we put him in the Kippah. So Lema Masnisin Deloy Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. So let's say then that our Mishnah is not like Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. However, it's the Machloikes between Rebbe and Reb Shimon ben Gamliel about Chazakah. Rebbe says that a Chazakah is after two times, right? We're talking about like by establishing a Chazakah. Of course, we know at this point that there are lots of different kinds of Chazakas. I think there's like four. I think we've identified already like 4 different kinds of chazakas. There's chazaka that's right then instead of a star, and like in Chezkas Abatim, there's the chazaka that we're talking about now. Like if you do something 2 times or 3 times, Machlekes Rebbe and Shimon Gamliel. We have what are like other chazakas that there are. There's like you can have like a chazaka of like I don't know, like being like married or something like that. Like you have a chazaka that it's like a chezkas tumor or chezkas tyre or something. There's like another kind of chazaka also. I don't know, whatever. There's like a whole bunch of. Oh, you can also be koneh b'chazaka, right? That you can improve the land or something. So there's like different kinds of chazakas. So here we're talking. So there's a machlekes between Rebbe and Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. Rebbe says that a chazaka is established after 2, and Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, his father, says that a chazaka is established after 3. Now our Mishnah says that if he gets makis twice, we then put him into the kippah. That sounds like the Mishnah is like Rebbe, that a chazaka is already established after twice. Getting makis twice establishes a chazaka, and now he goes into the kippah. Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, so it sounds like it's unlike Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. Because Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, if it's like Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, then I would think he would have to get makis 3 times before being thrown into the kippah. So again, Shona Afa Agav Dilo Shilesh, that we're saying that if he gets makis twice, even though he hasn't gotten makis 3 times, Lema must be into like Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. So let's say that the Mishnah is unlike Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. The Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, because if it were like Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, Ha Omer Ad Tlos Zimnei Loi Havi Chazoke. The Reb Shimon ben Gamliel says that a chazaka is established after 3 times. So I would imagine that you'd have to get makis 3 times. And for the Gemara, Amar Ravina says Ravina, Afilu Tema Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. You can even say that the Mishnah is like Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. Okay, so how do you explain it? Kasover Averis Machzikois. Because the Tan of our Mishnah holds that it's not the makis that are establishing the chazaka, it's the Avera that's establishing the chazaka. Meaning, if he does the Avera twice, okay, and he gets makis both times, now when he does the Avera a 3rd time, and he's established the chazaka by having done the Avera 3 times, well now we put him in to the kippah. Right? It's the Averis that are machzikis, not the makis. Meisvei. But we have a kasha. Over Avera sheish ba malkis, pamishon v'shniya, malkin oisoi. So we said basically if he does an Avera, and I assume what it's saying is that if he does an Avera, like we were saying, that it's a chiyuv karis, and they warn him for makis, so you got makis twice. So pamishon v'shniya malkin oisoi. So the first 2 times we give him makis. Vishlishis, when he does it a 3rd time, konsinos lechipa, we put him into the kippah. So that sounds like our Mishnah. Abba Shaul Omer, and then there's the opinion of Abba Shaul, Bishlishis, Malkin Oso, no, even the 3rd time we give him makis, Barvius, Konsunosu Lechipa, and then the 4th time we put him into the kippah. So it sounds like, so if we were going to this brisa, Tanakama says he gets makis twice and then goes into the kippah, Abba Shaul says he gets makis 3 times and then goes into the kippah, well, it would sound like the Tanakama is like Rebbe, that after 2 a chazak is established, and Abba Shaul is like Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, that after 3 times the chazaka is established, and the Tanakama aligns with our Mishnah, which would imply that our Mishnah is unlike Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, that our Mishnah is like Rebbe. My love, duchule alma malkius machzikos. So let's assume that in this brisa, both the Tanakama and Abba Shaul assume that it's the makis that are establishing the chazake. Uveflukta to Rebbe, Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, kamiflige. And the machlokes between the Tanakama and Abba Shaul aligns with the machlokes between Rebbe and Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. That the Tanakama is like Rebbe, that after 2 administerings of makis, a chazaka is established, and Abba Shaul holds like Reb Shimon ben Gamliel that after 3 makises the chazaka is established, and the Tanakama is saying basically the same thing as our Mishnah, so it must be that our Mishnah is aligned with Rebbe. Lo nit. Duchuli alma islu Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. No, you can argue that both the Tanakama and Abba Shaul hold, like Reb Shimon Gamliel, that a chazaka is established after 3 times, and the machlokes between them is that the Tanakama holds that it's the Averis that make the chazaka, and therefore he gets makis twice, and then the 3rd time he does the Avera, he doesn't get makis this time, we simply put him to the kippah because he's established in a chazaka by doing Averis 3 times, the Avera 3 times, whereas Abba Shaul says that no, it's not the Avera that makes the chazaka, but the makis that makes the chazaka, and therefore he gets makis 3 times, and then he would be put into the kippah. He would only be put into the kippah once he gets makis 3 times. And that which we learned in a brisa, Hisru boy vishosak. If they warned him and he was quiet, so he didn't accept the asra, right? Of course, we know that you have to warn somebody. He says, "Yeah, I know, but I'm doing it anyways." He didn't say anything; he was quiet. Hisru boy virkin rosha, or they warned him, and again, he didn't say anything, but he nodded his head. Pam rishoina vishnia masrin bo. So the first 2 times he does the avera, we warn him. Shlishis kontunosa lechipa. When he does the avera the 3rd time, we put him into the kippah. Abba Shaul, Omer says Abba Shaul, av bashlishis masrimbo, that we even warn him 3 times, baravias kontunosa lechipa. And then the 4th time he does the avera, we put him into the kippah. Now what's interesting about this case is it's definitely not talking about makis, because he's not accepting the asra, so we don't give him makis. He's simply doing the avera. And the Tanakama says that he's doing the avera 3 times before we put him into the kippah. And Abba Shaul is saying that he does the avera 4 times before putting him into the kippah. But what's the deal? Why would anybody require 4? Why would Abba Shaul require 4 times? Wouldn't the chazaka have already been established after 3 times? So v'hasa malkis leka, there's no makis over there, so it's clear that we're talking about the avera making the chazaka. So my kamiflige. So what's pshat with the machlokes? Why would Abba Shaul say you require 4 times before being put into the kippah? There's no opinion that requires 4 to make a chazaka. Amar Ravina says Ravina bechippah tzricha asua kamiflige. Well, the machlokes between the Tanakam and Abba Shaul is with regard to does kippah require its own hasra? Meaning both the Tanakam and Abba Shaul agree, like Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, that a chazaka is established after 3 times. Therefore, the Tanakama says once he does the avera 3 times, he's put into the kippah. Abba Shaul says even after he does the avera 3 times and establishes a chazaka, he still needs a separate warning that if he does it again, he's going to be put into the kippah. And then when he gets that warning for the kippah, we put him into the kippah after that 4th avera. I'm going to drink a stick of coffee. Umay kippah, and what is the kippah? Rav Yehuda says, Rav Yehuda, it is, I think it's basically a room that's about as tall as he is, a very small, cramped room. And where is there a remez for the kippah? That a nudnik gets bad stuff. Okay, that I guess if a guy's like a big nudnik, so bad stuff, he gets bad stuff. Okay, he says also, yeah. Yeah, okay. That if somebody is like an evil guy, say he's going to get killed. V'amr Rish Lakish, and says Rish Lakish, what does the pasuk mean? Kigam lo yeda ha'adam es ito kidarkim shenechazim b'metzuda ra, that a person doesn't know his time like fish that are trapped in a terrible trap. My metzuda ra, what's a terrible trap? Amr Rish Lakish chaka. Rish Lakish says it's a chaka. Chevra, I was watching, there was an interview, maybe some of the chevra here at Babel and Talmud have seen it. There was an interview on Chadashot Shtei Misrei with Eli Sharabi, one of the Yidden who was kidnapped by the Rishoyim on October 7th. And he was describing that he was held with 3 other Yidden, and one of them was a young boy named Alon Ohel, and Alon Ohel was a very sweet boy who unfortunately is still being held hostage by the Rishonim. And Alon, I don't know how old Alon is. He's a young boy, and Eli Sharabi is already he's old. He's like in his 50s, and he realized that Alon needed somebody to take care of him. Basically Eli Sharabi realized that he was gonna adopt Alon. He was going to take care of Alon, and he said in an interview something like, "Ani lo noten tagim, ani noten chaka." I don't give fish, I give the fishing rod. And when I was listening to the interview, it's like an hour-long interview, there were a few words that I didn't know, so I looked them up. So I was like, "What's a chaka?" So I looked it up, and it was a fishing rod. So like, that's interesting. And then Poshet, that day, I'm doing Chazara. Apparently I'd already actually learned it the day before, and I completely forgot. I guess I didn't expect a word in the Gemara to come up in an interview on Chadashot Shtei Masrei. But anyways, then I was doing Chazara on this Gemara that same day, and I see the word Chaka, fishing rod, a fishing hook. So Chaka is a fishing hook. But I think in that context of Eli Sharabi, I think it was a fishing rod. Basically, I think he took upon himself to take care of this boy and to give him the tools that he would need to be able to keep going weiter in those unimaginable circumstances. Says the Mishnah, Horig nefesh shaloi be'edim. So if somebody murders somebody else and there are no witnesses, there are no witnesses, machnisin oso lechipa, so we put him into the kippah. The Gemara is going to explain what that means, that there's no witnesses. If there's no witnesses, then how do we know that he did it? And we give him just a little bit of bread and like a little bit of water. In fact, if there's no witnesses, then how do we know that he did it? If there's no witnesses, then how do we know that we did it? Amar Rab, says Rab, be'edus miyuchedes. It's talking about, well, when there's like one witness sees the murder from one window and another witness sees the murder from another window, so they didn't mamash see it like tzazamen together, but they both saw the same thing. So we say in that case, we can't kill him based on that testimony, but we'll put him in the kippah and Betzim will be killed anyways, because we know that he did the murder. Ushmuel Amar says Shmuel Shelo Ba'asra. Shmuel says, or alternatively, if there was no warning, right? So what happens if Shimon murders Ruvain, and witnesses see Shimon murder Ruvain, and they didn't warn him? So there are witnesses that Shimon is a murderer. Now we can't slice off his head because there was no warning, but we'll just put him in the kippah. Rav Chizda Amar Avimi says, Rav Chizda Neniv of Avimi kigon de iskichush bebedikos v'lo iskichush b'chakiros. For example, right, we learned in the 5th parak that there's bedikos and there's chakiros. The chakiros are the important parts, right, that established hazama, right, that make sure that this is testimony that can be hasama blah. But then there's other things like what color was his shirt and things like that. So we said, so we're saying, so if they contradicted each other by the chakiros, so then we'll throw out the testimony and we won't slice off his head, the murderer's head, but we'll put him in the kippah because it's not ma'asu v'alik ben Zakkai b'uktzei tenim. For example, Ben Zakkai once asked, like, the stems of the figs, were they thick, were they thin, things like that, and then we use that to disqualify the testimony. But even in that case, where we've established the important parts of the testimony, the time, right, the date and time and place, and in that, right, and the testimonies match there, but in the sort of detailed interrogations, they contradicted each other, so we can't slice off the murderer's head, but we could put him in the kippah. And we give him a little bit of bread, a little bit of water. So Maishno Ocho Dikatoni Nosnlo Lechem Tzara Mayim Lochatz. How come over here in this Mishnah we're saying we give him a little bit of bread and a little bit of water? Maishno Osm Dikatoni Machilin Oso Sorim Ad shekreisum is bakas. But in the previous Mishnah that we learned, earlier, we said that we give him barley until his stomach splits open. Rav Sheshes says, Rav Sheshes, idi v'idi, nosin lo, we give him both. Idi v'idi, it's both. Nosin lo lechem tzayim ma'im lochas ad sheyukton mayonu. First we give him a little bit of bread and a little bit of water until his intestines kind of become really small. V'hadam achilin also sorin, and then we feed him barley ad shekreisum is bakas until his stomach splits. Yuck. Peace out.